Hi everyone. So I just thought I would do a little bit of a video just to show you what we're doing from June the 1st, just to kind of put your minds at rest a little bit and to give you a bit of context about what we're talking about. I'm also going to be sending out a full risk assessment which has got every aspect of what we're doing to combat as many of the risks as we possibly can. There's no way we can say we're risk free, it's impossible, but what we are doing is we are very confident that any risk that comes our way we have catered for. Alright, so you are going to get a full copy of that risk assessment as well. So we're going to start on the front drive. So on the front drive what we've got little zones where children are going to wait for their classes. So they've got their class teacher's first name. So you've got Tamlin, Owen, Nicholson and Webb. You will get told via a text what bubble you're in. So we're going to call them bubbles because that's what the government decided to call them in their wisdom. Great name. So they're in their little bubbles and that's where they'll stay. So they'll stay with their friends. Hopefully they will be with the people that they have put down on their sheet. So this will be where they wait. Now they will then, they'll have to wait at a distance. Some will have to go on the grass, some might have to go on the drive. The gates will be shut, so they'll be perfectly safe to do that. So you can see there's little hashed areas down here where we've just got a bit of a 2 metre distance, so they're 2 metres between bubbles, and the same over here. And then as we go up, I won't go out onto the playground, but the playground, you'll have all seen the playground. The playground is going to be split up into different zones, and actually again, because of the size of our site, it is amazing that we will be able to have really big areas for the children to play in. What we're going to do is we're going to disinfect the play equipment very regularly, so that children can actually play with each other. So they will be encouraged to social distance, still 2 metres, even though the guidelines on that is a bit woolly as to whether it needs to be 2 metres, but we will be encouraging that. But we are not saying they can't play with each other. So they can still pass a football, they can still play catch. But what we will encourage is that they do not touch hands to mouth, and then once they come in, they still wash their hands. All right, we're going to say on the risk assessment a minimum of 8 times a day, which sounds totally excessive, but when you think every time they've been to the toilet, every time they come in from break, every time they come in from lunch, every time they've done something that we think warrants a hand wash, they will wash their hands. So we are confident, because one of my major worries was that we'd be in a situation where actually the children are back in school, but all they are is just standing around doing nothing. We don't want that, because that's alien to them and that's not something that they will enjoy. So we have to balance their enjoyment of school with their safety in school. So we are confident that with the bubbles and with the massive play area they will have for each bubble, they will still be able to play with their friends and socialise with their friends at a distance and enjoy their time in school. All right, I have seen some horror stories of crosses on playgrounds and hoops and all things like this. We are not doing that. I don't think it's good for the children's mental health. I don't think there's any point in them coming to school if that's what they're going to be faced with. Okay, so that's, I think, really important, just so you know where we stand on that. But from a risk point of view, the risk assessment will answer a lot of those questions as well. Okay, so that's the Year 6 area, or 4 of the Year 6 classes. They will then enter the classrooms through their fire exits. So they'll come into the main gate here. They'll enter through the fire exits. We're going to minimise corridor use as much as possible. So they won't be entering corridors as much as we can avoid. They'll be going to the toilet, but that'll be on a rota basis, where possible. One thing we would say, perhaps, can you just make sure they go to the toilet before they come to school, so we minimise how much they need to go. And then coming up here, so then come onto the main path. That's Miss Tamlin's car being lazy, dropping stuff off. So what we've got here is we've got Mr. Smith. So Mr. Smith is one of the key worker groups. So he's going to be, his class is going to be waiting here. His bubble, Miss Margette's bubble is going to be here, and then Miss Huntley's bubble is going to be here. So you can see that again we've got the hashings between each one, just for a bit of social distancing. Then we've got Mr. James, so he's going to be teaching one of our Year 6 classes. Then we've got D for Davy. I'm trying to remember who my teachers are. Mr. Davy is going to be taking one of them. and Miss Tullett's going to be taking the third. So we've actually got 7 Year 6 classes. At the time of me recording this, we've got 71 people have responded on the survey. I'm going to be phoning those people that haven't just to check that they're a definite no. So that's all sorted. Sorry, those Year 3, so those 3 classes rather, they're still Year 6 children, obviously being taught by Year 5 teachers. They're going to be entering the Year 3 gate. And they will be going around, and they will be based in the Year 3-4 playground. So same play equipment, they'll have a decent area to play in still. And if it turns out we think, oh, actually, do you know what, they need to swap and change a little bit, we'll swap and change their playgrounds just so they get a bit of experience on both. The big play equipment like the log climbers and the assault course equipment, that's going to be closed just because there will be lots of people touching the same equipment, so we're not having that. But there will be plenty of play equipment to play on. And if I just take you into school a minute. So, sorry, what, Mr. Ending? So the library is going to be out of action just so that they don't continue to touch books. All soft furnishings, the pods, all the chairs, they're going to be out of action as well. Just again through sort of government advice, really. The hall, what we're doing in the hall, it's a bit dark, I can't show you much, but we're using that as a store for the excess tables and chairs. There won't be assemblies, there won't be indoor PE. So if I just show you one of the classrooms. So if we go into Pendeen here, so you can see this is how we've set the classrooms up. Everybody's got a table, everybody's got a chair, and actually, although it looks a little bit examination-like, it's not too bad. The distance between them is 2 meters or where it can be, and that guidance has been quite specific to say that actually this 2 meter thing is a little bit in doubt, and it says socially distance where possible. So when I think about this class, they will have their own equipment that isn't shared, so they have their own pencil, pen, rubber, pencil sharpener, all things like that. It's not shared. There'll be very little movement around the class, and the tables will be wiped down at lunchtime, so the teacher's going to wipe them down with a disinfectant spray, antibacterial spray, midday, so you've got a little bit of cleaning that goes on during the day as well. Handles, so door handles, all things like this, that'll be sprayed down as well. And then, other than that, as I say, the risk assessment will answer everything you need to be answered, I think. We are confident, as I say, we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't 100% confident that we could do it safely and with as much care and attention paid to your child's safety as we can. It is something that obviously at Carbia we are all very passionate about. We want your children to be safe. But similarly, we're also passionate about them wanting to be in school. I think that's really key, is that we want them in school, but we will only do that if that is the safest way of doing it. Mrs. Cullerton has written the most amazing risk assessment. That risk assessment has gone to all staff and all governors, just as a consultation really, to see whether there's anything they think we've missed. There's been some great points made by people, so we've added that in. We're then going to send that to you. So you will get a copy of that risk assessment so that you can see how seriously we're taking everything and that we've actually accounted what we believe. We've accounted for every element that we possibly can. And that just really leads me to say a big thank you to our teachers and our teaching assistants, our office staff, cleaners, caretakers, everybody. Margaret in the kitchen staff have been cleaning, the cleaners. They've done the most amazing job to make sure that Carbeal is open and ready to go for your children on June the 1st. Now, those teachers that are in school, they will be obviously delivering a relatively normal curriculum. We're going to call it kind of almost a bit of a recovery curriculum to try and fill any gaps that we think there might be in Year 6, but we'll do our best with that. It's nigh on impossible when we haven't got the whole year group, so we'll do our best with that. So we've got 7 teachers that are in all day, every day to keep those bubbles consistent, and then the other teachers are going to be working equally hard at home, providing those home learning lessons. And I'm going to say in a newsletter, but those home learning lessons will have to be different. With the number of staff that we've got now teaching full-time every day, we cannot do, unfortunately, the detailed YouTube lessons that we have been. They will still be structured the same, they just won't be as long. Okay. So I hope you have a lovely half term. We've so appreciated all of your, and this week particularly, your positivity has been awesome. We could not be more pleased to be part of this TalkPoint community. You're doing an amazing job with home learning. But also, just on Wednesday with the Thank a Teacher thing, the number of gifts and food, mostly food, which is where we thrive, was just, it was quite, it was humbling. We were really, really chuffed to get it. So thank you so much, everybody, for showing the appreciation. We are very, very grateful. As I say, have a great half term. Just enjoy the week with no lessons. Try and get out a bit now we're allowed to, a little bit safely. And we'll see you on June the 1st, everything being well. We'll wait for the government announcement on Thursday. If for any reason that announcement is any different, i.e. they say, no, you can't come back on June the 1st, then I will obviously send some texts out and we'll get business as usual for that as well. All right. So take care and we'll speak soon. Thank you.